That's one of the good parts about having the corrugation in the metal. It acts as a guide. That was specifically engineered to do it that way. And we'd normally want to shorten this back to by our 2 inches back coming in our channel. The first piece coming out of a valley where you got to slip into multiple channels is definitely hard. So we got to go in and then back up, and there we go. So now we're on our starter, we can put our screws in. And you want to try to go straight square into the deck. No, you want to have it. Yep, yep. That's good. And you want to try to avoid actually drawing up on it. You really want to come square as possible. You're not going to be dead on, but you want to get it pretty tight. What you don't want to do is you don't want to push it downward because that'll disengage it from below. And you don't want to draw it up too much because what you're going to wind up doing is, do me a favor, and on this screw here, suck it up as much as you can. And while he's doing it, if you can, watch right here.
Like that?
Yep. You see how it's pulling and stretching that panel? So it's pulling it off of our front edge here, but it's also pulling this step up. And this step up's pretty critical as far as getting the lap engagement. You want these to be the same reveal so they mate up and actually hook onto one another. Whoop. And then you won't want to put one in here. But we're never going to put panels, even though there's a pre-punched hole in there, you never want to come inside. You want to leave these valley pans and all these flashing channels solid with no screws. There may be some circumstances where you got a small tight area where you don't have a choice. You have to attach it. But for the main field areas, we'll want to just keep it back. Again, keep in mind these screw holes are there for convenience. You don't necessarily have to use those. One other thing, yeah, you'll want to get, normally we'll want to get 5 in. So we can just pop one here. You'll notice, actually, let's take this one back first. And you'll see this relax. See how that relaxes a little bit? Okay, now we can turn it and go straight in. Yep. Perfect.
Yeah, Matt, can you overdrive those screws to the point where it's going to dimple the top?
Yeah.
Or...
Now you'll see here he's coming in. Keep in mind we're riding on this rib. You can set it back so if you try not to catch the double metal because that'll bind it. Yeah. Yep, that's good. I wanted you to do that so we can show you what happens. So step over for a second for me. So you see how we torque this all the way down tight? But we've got the height of this little rib. It may be tough to see it with the stone coating, but it sticks up about 1/4 inch or so. By sucking this down tight, we kind of bound this and crimp this top clip lock. So wherever you're coming into your points where the panel's sort of tapering up a little bit, you can float that screw. You know, get it tight, but don't really drive it down. If you do, you can either probably just back that screw out and it's going to release it. Good enough. And then you can snug it back up. Good. If it doesn't take it out, you know, again, the tip of your snips. You can use the teeth of your hammer. You can use your fingers and just kind of pry it back up enough so you can hook your next course onto. Same thing down here. And that's why you want to try to stay as square as possible and not over torque those screws. If you draw it up, sometimes it'll pull this clip open. If you draw it down, it'll crimp it tight. If you got it too close to the bend line back here, it'll do the same thing and pull this tight. So we want to just go right in the middle of this area and straight square into the deck. Nope, you were good there. I'm sorry.
You were saying.
Yeah. No, right in the middle of between the bend and the top side. Yep, right there. Perfect. Yep. Good. Good job.